Things in the external world obviously look pretty terrible right now. So I wanted us to take a moment to come together and imagine what it's going to be like after this horrible period is over. When things look bad in the external, I often come back to this quote from Buckminster Fuller. He says that you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. So in that spirit, I wanted us to first of all meditate for a few minutes. We can just close our eyes and get to a place where we're more equanimous. Because from a spiritual standpoint, I find that when I'm coming out of the negative energies of hopelessness or being furious or feeling despondent, then I'm in a place at which I can make decisions and take actions that are more aligned with the highest good. So I thought we'd do that first for a few minutes. And then I wanted to talk through visualizing what this world will look like after all of the negativity that Trump is bringing about has cleared, after the oligarchy has fallen, after late stage capitalism is no longer keeping, the vast majority of us as wage slaves who have to trade our time for money in order to survive. I wanted us to do that visualization so that we can bring more energy to getting closer to that place. If you've watched my channel before, you've heard me talk about seeds. I won't go into great detail regarding what seeds is and how it works in this video, but seeds is a tool that can help us transcend, I think, a lot of the dysfunction that got us to this place.
It's a puppy! Oh, it's a puppy!
I love this puppy so much.
Oh, thank you!
So close your eyes, and I'm gonna describe what this is in a little bit more detail. So my understanding is that the Buddha taught the practice of Vipassana meditation as the way to full liberation, to end suffering. And there are 3 building blocks to be able to properly develop and practice Vipassana. The first is called Shila, the second is Samadhi, and then the third is Panya, Vipassana itself. Shila is like morality, a foundation of morality. And if you ever find that you're having trouble concentrating when you try to meditate, going back to check to see if your quote unquote morality is solid enough is often key. There are 5 tenets of Shila. Don't take intoxicants, don't steal, don't lie, don't kill, don't commit sexual misconduct. So like, for example, in my own life, I had a binge drinking problem for many years. And during that period of time, it was super hard to meditate, and I didn't understand why until later. And at this point, I've been sober totally for like 6.5 years or something. And because that's no longer interfering with like the foundation, it's a lot easier to focus. So just as a tip, if you're ever having trouble focusing, going back to that can be the key to like addressing the root of that issue. Right now, I thought it'd be most helpful for us to practice Samadhi. So we're gonna do that through Anapana meditation. It's super simple. It's literally just observing the breath. As a side note, I'm not a teacher. I'm just somebody that's been practicing for almost 12 years now. So I'm sharing, my understanding, but if anything I say doesn't resonate with your own understanding or your own intuition, just set it aside. Only take what resonates. Okay, so just bring your attention to your breath. And especially when you're starting out, you'll notice that your mind will wander away from the breath, often very quickly. If that happens, don't feel any sort of negativity, don't feel guilty or in any way be hard on yourself or feel discouraged. Just bring your attention back to the breath. What you'll start to notice over time, if you keep practicing, is that you'll be able to keep your attention on the breath for longer and longer periods. So at first, you may be stoked to realize that you can keep your attention on the breath for a whole minute without your mind wandering somewhere else. And then over time, you'll get up to an entire hour, a whole hour sit where your mind never wanders away from the breath. Just trust that it'll naturally happen over time as you practice. Okay, open your eyes. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit better, a little bit more equanimous. Now let's all point our attention toward imagining this better world so that we can manifest it in the 3D more quickly. Now we're going to visualize, and feel free to close your eyes for this too. I'm going to close my eyes because it makes it feel easier just to kind of drop into it. So we're feeling into what it is to be in a world after the fall of oligarchs. The idea of billionaires making the world worse is a thing of the past. So we're living in a world at which the old system has fallen. We no longer have to trade our time for money in order to get the funds that we need to survive. And because so many of us are free of that now, the evil corporations that were dependent on us being wage slaves, they no longer exist. Everything that, was draining us and depleting us and contributing to this old zero-sum system, that's no longer supported. It no longer exists. We can use seeds to support each other and to grow wealth ourselves through being kind, through helping one another. So anytime we need monetary funds, we can just ask for them through seeds, and our community provides them to us, and everybody who gives to us receives seeds cryptocurrency in thanks. And the idea there is that in a kinder system, people should be able to build wealth because they helped others. So that makes your gift neutral from a monetary standpoint from the outset, but then if and when seeds go up in value over time, you could build wealth because you were nice enough to help. More and more of us have been able to say like, hey, I'm just gonna use seeds. I'm not gonna keep working this job. I'm gonna use seeds to ask for the money I need for, 4 months of living expenses so that I can work on this creative project instead. We've also been able to focus on our healing more so as well. We can ask for the help we need through seeds to take the time that we need to do the healing work that's necessary so that we can really get clear on the thing that we uniquely came to Earth to offer, because we know, so many of us realize, we're so clear on the fact that the vast majority of us did not come to Earth in order to be wage slaves working a 9-to-5 to enrich a billionaire. And everything is more peaceful and harmonious as a result. The old hierarchical structures and inequalities that were associated with that, because of the design of the old system, those are starting to heal as well. And we're so much more creative, we're happier, we're more free, we feel more supported, so we're not trapped in scarcity energy or in, a psychology of poverty anymore. And because of that, because that's happening for so many of us, the overall value that is being created is so much greater in so many tangible and intangible ways than was ever possible within the design of the old system. So imagine yourself, imagine what you do, imagine what you'd ask for, what you would receive, what you would create, what you would heal with that sort of support available to you. Now open your eyes. So if you weren't already aware, seeds already exist as a thing, so you could use it now to ask for help for whatever you may need, and I really want to encourage you to do that. You can also help others through seeds, and you'll receive seeds cryptocurrency in thanks. And the link to do that is in the description. As a last couple thoughts, Sometimes I get feedback when I talk about seeds where people like call it an ad, like me describing what seeds is as an ad. And I think that comes from our conditioning in the old like late stage capitalistic system. It's not an ad, it's a social revolution. It's an entirely new way for us to relate to one another so that we can transcend the bounds of the old system. It's so much more than something that I think an ad can describe. So please know that. Also, if you're interested, I just recently started doing lives where I'm just meditating. So if you ever feel like joining those, you should come and join. I'm finding them to be super helpful, and that's having, very positive effects at a time at which I really need that additional support. So, maybe it could be supportive for you too. Okay, that's all I have for right now. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and I'll catch you next time. Okay, bye.